to these ridiculous notions. And I'm out of here. That's what it's all about. If that's the truth, then I'm moving out. Don't you understand that Billy Joel's song, Moving Out, could be the theme song for Abraham in the beginning of the Bible? that that would be with slightly different words. That would be Abraham's theme song. If that seems such a waste of time, if that's what it's all about, if that's that I'm moving out. And that's what Abraham did. He moved out. He said, fuck this. I'm going somewhere else. I'm leaving. I'm going somewhere where you can't tell me how to live. And it seems likely that his father never heard from him again. And that was it. And that's a pretty sad story. When you think about it, simply socially, personal, psychologically story as a biography, just as a biography. It's a sad story of a man's estrangement from his father. When you look at it that way, and how come nobody seems to go into that? How come none of the religious philosophers and theologians seem to go into wondering about Abraham's relationship with his father, his estrangement from his father? That, in a sense, would seem to me to be sort of essential to the whole story of the Bible. But anyhow, Abraham told his father, "Fuck this bullshit. I'm going off on my own. I'm gonna go live my own life. I'm going off to find myself because this is not it." And that's the origin of the whole Bible, which is the origin of Christianity. And then 1500 years after the Christianity started as a religion or as a cult, 1500 years later, people in England, who were certainly not Christian at the time of so-called Jesus, I mean, their ancestors were certainly not Christian at all. But the descendants of people who had nothing to do with Palestine at the time of so-called Jesus, their descendants 1.5 millennia later were being told by their king, whose ancestors, most of whose ancestors were also not even from England at the time of the so-called Jesus person. But this guy was saying, okay, everybody has to agree with my religion. And a handful of people said, no, we can't live under those conditions. So fuck this, we're out of here. And they crossed the Atlantic Ocean. So there you go. So if you're a heretic, if you say, fuck this bullshit, I can't accept this religious bullshit, you are not, just to understand that you are perfectly in keeping. You are more in keeping with the Bible itself than the people who are trying to shove the Bible in your face, trying to shove their interpretation of the Bible. Because the Bible is based on this guy, Abraham, who said the same thing that you're saying. He said, fuck this bullshit. Fuck your bullshit religion. I don't need this. I don't need to spend my life cramming my head inside of this tin can. You take this religion and shove it. But this is the one thing that... So in a sense, we still are in the same conditions that the Pilgrims tried to leave 400 years ago from England. We're still in the same situation where you're not allowed, and yet technically we are allowed. Technically we are allowed to criticize Christianity in the United States of America. But if you do it, you're going to be branded as a terrorist by the general population and the Christian establishment. And that is the trap that you need to break out of.